It's time to talk about the duels. Um, I, this is kind of like a whiplash of just emotions, basically. But before we actually get into the duels themselves, I think it's time to at least address maybe qualifying just a tiny bit. So apparently there is no race practice at all for it. I don't understand the logic behind that. That makes no sense. That's really really dumb. And Lord and behold, would you believe it? There were certain cars in qualifying that had problems. Gee, imagine if they had practice, like 1 2 hour practice session, and then maybe some of these issues wouldn't happen. It's just really embarrassing and sad. Like, why? What is the logical decision for any of that? I don't understand. I just it blows my mind. It blows my mind. It really does. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Also, the driver start your engines thing was really dumb for the start. I mean, we didn't even get into the first duel yet, and we already got some guy like just screeching for no, like, why, why do that? Oh my god, it's just it never ceases to amaze me just how the people they bring either just, I don't know if they're just like told that this is just for entertainment and not an actual like race, and just be stupid. I don't understand it. Like, why do we have someone screeching into the fucking microphone? So I don't know. So anyways, with all that like stuff out of the way, also with qualifying, I don't really take too much stock into it. I really haven't cared about it since maybe 2012, because 2013 onwards, there's always some kind of weird, almost tinfoil hat conspiracy of why this person on the pole or why this front row is like a certain way. It feels very scripted. I don't think it's like that anymore. It's I can't really get invested in it when these races are such a crapshoot. And also when Hedrick is like literally like the team is on the front row like every year for multiple years now, and it's not really interesting. So it doesn't really do much for me. It's just kind of just a waste of time. Also, the 500 in general just kind of feels very hollow anymore. It's no longer speed weeks. It's no longer even really speed week. It's speed days. Because it starts on Wednesday. It just seems like they're just chipping away at just the the tradition aspect, especially practice. Like, why? And then we go to the Coliseum, which was there really just no way that the Clash could be fixed for like Daytona? I mean, when 2020 happened, there was already people saying like there was ways to fix it, making it shorter, and it's like, well, that's a pretty good idea. But now we'll just absolutely nuke it, go somewhere else, and take some of the hype away from Daytona, because it just feels like they're more orientated towards making the Clash like a big deal, and now the Chicago Street Course, even though those two are just gimmicks that probably won't stand the test of time while Daytona's still been around for 50, 60 years. So I don't know. It just feels hollow, especially with just how little cars are actually being eliminated. So I mean, you're barely getting a full field, and it just doesn't really feel the same. It's almost kind of sad and almost pointless we even have duels anymore, unless there's just like a complete revamp of, you know, like nobody safe, kind of like IndyCar does for the Indianapolis 500, where literally anyone could miss it. Like if we had something like that, where just the top 40 have to qualify in on time, no provisionals, no nothing, just raw speed, then maybe that could garner some kind of hype around it. But when it's just, I don't know, it's gross. But anyways, into the actual race itself, I know I wasted so much other time on just shit, but it'll make sense because Duel 1 was almost entirely pointless. There's really not a lot of positives I can even extrapolate from it. I guess I have notes here, so I'm looking at this. So already I have right out of the bat, Bowman doesn't even try, and yeah, this brings up another question of where's that 100% rule? It's almost like as if they just kind of enforce it whenever they really feel like it, or when it's really convenient. Because technically Bowman didn't go 100% there. Now, is what Bowman did smart? Yeah, it makes sense. But isn't there a rule where they can't do that? And also, when you have drivers literally just not try, then why, like, it just lessens the incentive and just, like, makes you wonder what's even the point about all this. This is weird. It's dumb. I'm so lost on all that. Also, there's been, like, an odd blurring on the POV cam. I don't know what the logic is behind that, unless it's for, like, oh, we can't have other teams look at our data. Because apparently, looking at the your RPMs and stuff, it just it's too risque or too just inappropriate. It's just sad. It just ruins the shot. What else do I say? It ruins the fucking shot. Fox has to. You gotta praise it wherever the hell it can, and that's like one of the few things that's like, okay, that's a cool shot, but it's ruined because, like, the dash is blurred, and then the blur effect is like on top of, like, the it's like blurring up on the back of other cars, and it's just unnecessary, pointless, and what does it really benefit? If you're gonna go that far and censor it, then don't even fucking show it, because it just ruined the whole shot, and it's just now a problem. And if other teams are looking into that for data, then congrats. Boyer made some fucking dumbass tweet where he was just like, oh, well, F1 does something like that, so essentially we have to do that too. And it's like, Boyer, you continue to be a dumbass week in and week out. Just shut your fucking mouth. God, it's just so annoying. Oh yeah, let's copy something bad that F1 did and bring it into the NASCAR sphere things, because that's what F1 did. It's like, it's so stupid. So it's like, oh, well, if F1 is smoking, NASCAR should smoke too, because that's what they're doing. It's like, no. Maybe it's almost like as if maybe not everything F1 does in the broadcast is a 10 out of 10 that should be implemented to a T. If that's even true, I don't even know. But it's like, why? Boyer, I wish he would just deactivate his whole Twitter and his life in Minecraft, because, damn, it just, God, the defending of shit, like, ugh. So that's just annoying. So, what are the positives for it? They went green flag the whole way. We had green flag pit stops. It was like an organic race of some capacity. That was cool. The only passing was like on lap 1 and then during like the pit sequences, so the majority of it was just train racing. Chandler Smith sped on pit road, so that pretty much eliminated any drama that this duel is supposed to present, because it was between Chandler Smith and Zane Smith on who would make it. And since Chandler was speeding, he would, had to go back down pit road, and it's like, well, now there's really nothing at stake. There's nothing to really look forward to. Even if you want to watch on just the pure base of like who is gonna make it. Well, the Duel 1 didn't really deliver that, and yeah. Also, there was a tire on pit road, and Boyer was like really, really being like, yeah, there's gonna be a caution, and Mike Joy's like, no. Which, props to Mike Joy. But I'm honestly surprised they didn't do that, because didn't last year they throw a yellow out because the car was in a pit box that wasn't used by anyone, or like where the pace car would be or something, and they thought that was like too wild, even though there probably was an argument for that, because Kyle Busch in the Truck Series like in 2010 actually hit an area that actually kind of had some merit. I'm amazed they didn't do something that stupid. It was like as if today of all days they wanted to be like an actual like legitimate racing industry or something, where they are not going to throw fun flags. So yeah, that was nice. But it's funny that Boyer was just like really being like, oh my god, that could be a yellow, like, oh my god, oh. But it'd be like, Boyer, if that would be yellow, that'd be really fucking stupid, because the tire is like maybe 6 inches past the person's pit stall. Like, no. So that's a positive, but should I really be giving things positive for just common sense shit that I'm grasping at straws for Duel 1. I really hated Duel 1. It really, really sucked. The finish was alright. That's really all I can say. There was really no hype. I wasn't like, gripping my freaking chair, peeling the foam off it or anything, because Ryan Blaney was third, Harvick was second. If Harvick makes a move, Blaney's not going to go with him, because Blaney's always been, he's just been such a beta cuck simp bitch lately, and it's not surprising. I mean, it's no surprising that he just bends a knee to Logano or Cindric, because he's probably the weakest link there, because Logano's their perennial driver, and Tim Cindric, vice president, so of course he's going to get priority. So Ryan Blaney has to kind of be a bitch and just kind of, bend the knee, which is really sad. I mean, we saw that at Phoenix, where he wasn't technically going 100% and just literally sacrificed his multiple one win a year or multiple wins a year like streak just so Logano, like, he was such a team player to such a disgusting point that it just kind of bugs me. It's just gross. So yeah, when he was in third, I wasn't really like excited, because I like I said, I knew if Harvick tries to make a move, Blaney's just gonna just stay where Logano is, and basically at the end of this race he kind of did the same. So he did try to go up high and make a move, but that didn't work. But then he just decided, I'm just gonna just push Logano, and yeah, so hooray. So I sat through a mediocre race for a bum bitch ass Logano, who literally has no business being on the racetrack anymore, but just continues to just win meaningless races. So good for him. So Duel 1, what do I even rate it? I was teetering on like a 5 or a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. It was slightly below average. Nothing horrifically egregious on it. It was just more of just weird Fox decisions and a couple of other bizarre things. But nothing that screamed me just like ripping things apart. It just was very, very, it's just very blah. Duel 2, on the other hand, is almost an entirely different beast of its own in terms of just things that happened. It started off pretty bad because the 50 car had issues, which sucks for them that they were put in a position where, I mean, you're literally sending people out on track with no practice, no anything. Like Pastrana, for example, has not been in a cup car, well, ever. But last time he was in Xfinity, I think was 2013 or maybe 2014 or 17. I don't know when, but I know he had like a one-off in some other year after 2013. But you're literally just sending people out without even practicing. Like Jimmy hasn't even been in this car in like ever and hasn't raced in Cup in 3 years, and you're just gonna, like, why do that? How stupid is that? Like, that just makes your biggest like event of the year a complete joke when you don't give teams the opportunity to practice and find problems with the car. Because I'm sure if there was practice, like it normally should be, which that's been a thing that's just been a thing for like half a century, we're just not going to do it anymore. And then we're going to have people have problems with things that probably could have been prevented, like the 50 car. And then Connor Daly, who was almost on the cusp of missing it because of, a random problem that they couldn't find right away, because, oh my god, such horseshit. And poor Connor Daly, like, I can imagine him just jumping from IndyCar and NASCAR thinking, like, what a joke this is. Like, what? No practice? Like, really? Like, it's so stupid. Ugh. I hate it. So, yeah. So it started off on a pretty bad note. It was kind of a typical race for a little bit. But then, things started to kind of get interesting. There was actually a nice little battle between Larson and Busch for the lead. So I was like, ooh, oh my god, I woke up from that because nothing else happened for so long that it was nice to actually witness something. So that was cool. They went single file for a bit. Then things just went batshit crazy when Suarez just runs over Kyle Busch for really no reason. Like, it was really, really stupid. Don't understand the logic behind that, or why he was so adamant on pushing him when there was like 25 laps to go or something at that point. Like, it was really just dumb. Don't understand that. But what is concerning is on the replay. I think I have a favorite on my Twitter, but there's a good shot of when Kyle Busch gets turned and hits the outside wall. His head moves so far. You can see, like, it feels like it's like a foot forward when he hits that wall. And it's very alarming and very, very freaking concerning. And I think that kind of tells us that these cars aren't fully fixed. And obviously, yes, I know. Well, technically, racing is always dangerous, but it's inherently more dangerous when you're seeing comments like Bubba Wallace after the clash saying that, all those bumps hurt. That's a problem. Seeing Kyle Busch's head go that far when he's hitting the wall, that's a problem. And that's with Han's device too. Like, that's the whole point of the Han's device, is to keep your head in place. So I don't know what happened with that, or that's fucking scary. So I think that goes to show that these play races aren't, like, they're not as safe, or all these problems aren't fixed. So I'm very concerned about that. I think it's horseshit that this is still a problem. The Gen 7 should not have been fucking released when it did. It pretty much ruined Kurt's career for no reason, even though drivers from the year previously were mentioning that, hey, these aren't really as safe as they should be. And NASCAR just brushed them off because they don't care, because they don't learn from their lessons. Apparently Dale Earnhardt's death wasn't enough. We need like a modern day equivalent of a Dale Earnhardt death to make everyone, remind them that, hey, shit can be better. I don't know. It's just sad to see history repeat itself and drivers kind of express something, and that's a whole other rant on its own. It's concerning. It's just, I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good knowing that these drivers are more at risk than ever before, and it's not really right. It doesn't feel right. I don't know. So that bugs the shit out of me. But despite that, those last 15 laps were pretty damn good. They were really freaking good. Cars were squirrely. They were on edge. Like, it really seemed like handling was a lot more of a premium. Just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It was just Duel 2 just had the right group of drivers just really racing. But it was pretty damn good. Like, it was really, really freaking good. And the battle at the end, the fact that Todd Gilliland was able to save the car, granted, probably the banking probably helped the car a little bit there, but it was still nuts. Not only did he save it, nobody else wrecked. That was pretty wild. And the race played out, and that was good. It was good stuff. I really, really liked that end. It salvaged what could have been maybe a slightly above average race. But that Kyle Busch thing, that just really rubs me the wrong way, how that was done. Those cars having issues at the beginning bugged me, because those could have been easily been prevented if they just had practice like every other decade ever. So that's another rant, but that ending kind of elevated just a little bit, and I'll probably give that a 6 out of 10. I think that's a pretty alright rating, considering I gave the other one a 4 and this is a 6. So I think that's kind of my general thoughts on it. I didn't mean for this to be so long, but yeah, there's a lot of different things to talk about, especially since I'm really trying to keep notes and just pay attention to things. I don't know, just certain things bug me. I just, like the freaking the dash, they blur the dash for, I don't know, so teams don't see their information, because apparently knowing a driver goes 8,000 RPM plus and they have a relative lap time to everyone else is just so scary that, like, they don't want to like, are we really that fucking, like, just, I'm glad we ruined that camera angle just for that sake, and it literally benefits no one but the teams and not really anyone at home. So that's fun. That's a whole, god, that's my thoughts. So I don't know what to, it's the duels. I'm not expecting, balls to the wall 10 out of 10 shit. I'm not expecting that, but I'm expecting for something to happen, and Duel 1 didn't have any of that. Duel 2 had a little bit of that at the end, so I appreciate that. So yeah, I guess slightly better than a typical Duel race. I think last year's was worse, but I can't remember how that was. But I don't know. That's my thoughts on all that. So yeah, that's all. I don't know if I'll do other ones for like trucks, Xfinity, and all that. I don't know if I'll do that, but I guess I'll figure it out in the future. But yeah, that'll do it for me. Take care.